All right, we're going to flip things up here on the Elias Macco Show and make the show even better, toot sweet. Let's head over to Claude Pinard, who yesterday named chair of Montreal's executive committee, also named responsible for homelessness in the city of Montreal. Monsieur Pinard, welcome back to the program.
I'm happy to be here, Elias.
Now, let's talk about this. The last time you were on this program, it wasn't as politician. It was in your role, your former role. You were CEO of Centrade of Greater Montreal. It can be said that, you didn't have to choose a life in politics. You already had a very important role. I should ask you this off the top. Why was this so important that you changed career here and head into politics?
It's a great question. So basically, two reasons. Number one reason is I want, at Centrale we had this influencer role, if I could put it this way, where we acted on poverty and we were able to have those conversations with government, at all levels. When you're in politics, you have a chance to make the difference directly. So it's more like at a system or program level. And I wanted to see. I thought going to politics was like the culmination of my work experience. That's the first reason. The second reason is I could not take how Montreal was sinking at the pace it was sinking. So I was raised as a citizen. My father used to say that he was not raising individuals, but he was raising citizens. And for me, citizen means to be engaged. And I couldn't take it anymore. I said, you know what? I gotta go try and put my energy and capacity to try to better Montreal.
You are being described as the mayor's new right-hand man, the bras droit of Soraya Martinez-Ferrada. So with that comes big expectations here. Let's talk about your new role and what you will be focusing on to stop that decline you just outlined.
Yeah, so the job of president of the executive committee comes with the finance and HR responsibilities. But Soraya and I, when we met in the summertime, and when she asked me to come and join her, I told her, I said, if I go in, it's either you or me that has to be responsible for homelessness. So I wanted this issue to be raised at the level of the importance it has in Montreal. So that's why homelessness falls under my purview. And it is very important for me that this responsibility comes at my level, because when we talk to government, they will understand what we're trying to do. And homelessness is a very complex issue, and people tend to do a lot of a grouping of issues. And homelessness can be mental health. It could be a problem with drugs, addiction. It could be you don't have a home, of course, which is the number one reason why you're homeless, right? Because you don't have a roof to sleep under. But then there's all those social issues, and for that complexity, we think that the best way to tackle it is to be at the top of the pyramid of the city of Montreal and be working with not only City Hall but all the actors of civil society. So that includes the government, of course, provincial, eventually federal, if we have to build some things. Also the private business, families, the foundations, community organizations, citizen. And that's why we wanted to be super active on this. People will see a difference, Elias. That's my promise.
So, I'll tell you that you are the city councillor for the Saint-Jacques district in the Ville-Marie borough, okay?
Yes.
And that's where I used to live, okay? I lived there for 4 years, and it was just about 2 years ago that we left the Ville-Marie borough. My wife and I, we had a kid on the way. And, there were a couple of reasons, but at the top of the list was the drug use that we were seeing on the streets right around us. We said, okay, we can't raise a kid. We can't go to a park where there's tents and there's drug use in the parks that would be right next to us, right? One of the reasons we left. So I wonder what the plan of attack is on that for the sake of the families and the common citizens who pay their taxes. What's the plan of attack to deal with those issues?
So your story, Elias, I've heard it at least 3 times. There's 3 people that voted for me in the election and came to me and said, I'm giving you 1 year to see change. So that's the level of how much people want to see change in the neighborhood. And I'm talking about Saint-Jacques here because you're mentioning Saint-Jacques. And I chose to present myself in Saint-Jacques because with my life experience and especially the last 4 years, I've got a good grasp on social issues. So what will happen? I'll tell you that. Number one is we'll take the burden of proof of citizens having to prove they're having, social cohesion problem in the neighborhood, this is not going to happen anymore. So we'll be more. We're putting 3 times the money used to be put on homelessness in community organizations. So we're tripling that amount. That's number one. That amount has to serve to double the number of people, street workers, taking care of people with homelessness. We are also launching a tactical homelessness group that will be composed of, the first few meetings with the heads of, Santé Québec, the CIUS, the government, community organizations, city officials, of course, in order to be super active like today, not in 6 months trying to plan something, because we understand the pressure. We've also announced that in the first 100 days, we will conduct a review of all municipal buildings because we have the number varies, but approximately, let's say, 80 location where we could eventually build some homelessness shelters. We have the money in the budget eventually to make renovation and construction and whatnot. We're also, as we speak, talking to the government of Quebec to get new powers in order to be able to act right now, not in 6 months, again, because you know what? You can go around and say, Montreal is now responsible for homeless people. Let me tell you one thing. Montreal is my city. It's my home. If there's someone sleeping on a sidewalk, it's my responsibility, and we will do that. Also, on top of what I just said, we're also talking to philanthropic actors and community organizations to create a fund where we will be able to tackle homelessness per se, so building new units and activate those initiatives. So we're going to be active. I could tell you we are going to be active. I will tell you we are already active, and it's already happening. We have big meetings coming this afternoon. So you know what? It's not easy. It's a complex issue, but we're tackling it. And because it's our responsibility as an administration.
And I can hear in your voice the focus, right? I can hear in your voice the resolve. I'll ask you one last thing to wrap up, and it's my concern, my worry. And that is Montreal is going to go down the path of trying things that other Canadian cities have already done, throw more money at the issue, try and make some of these societal ills, make it more comfortable for people to live on the streets with some of these issues. And the situation only gets worse, not better. Where are you looking to for inspiration? A city maybe that's doing it right, that is trending in the right direction on this front.
How about Houston? Houston's doing phenomenal work in this. And I think, Elias, and I totally understand your point of view. I will risk telling you this is seen in the last, 6 to 8 years is a lack of leadership. Mm-hmm. So this is the situation is where it's at. There was no accountability at the city level as to what was happening in the street. There was no accountability from elected officials as to how we were going to take care of people. And let me tell you one thing. What drives me every morning is dignity. And right now, the dignity of people sleeping in the street is not respected. The dignity of people living in those buildings and having to deal with the drugs issues and the incivilities and stuff like that is not respected either. So we will have to work together as a society to tackle this issue. And that's my promise to you. That's my promise to your listeners this morning, that we will take that leadership and we will take that accountability.
Interesting to hear you reference Houston, a city that has cut its homeless population by, I think, 2/3, 60%, 2/3 in a decade. Yes. So they have seen some results there.
Absolutely.
Mr. Pinard, listen, congratulations on the big win and hopefully the first of many conversations in your new role.
Thank you very much.
Claude Pinard is the chair of the Executive Committee on the City of Montreal.
I'm Dylan Playfair.
And I'm Tyler Smith.
We're putting loneliness in the penalty box by talking to some of our favorite athletes about the importance of friendship.
This is Bromance.
Bromance is brought to you by Charm Diamond Centers, proudly Canadian-owned and operated. Charm has been part of your love stories and bromances for over 50 years. And you can find Bromance on the iHeartRadio network or wherever you get your podcasts.